Hey folks, it's Mike. Today I want to talk a little bit about EDC or everyday carry. Now this video is not going to be about what you should or shouldn't carry. This is going to be basically about what I carry. And I may be more of a wacko than some of you and willing to carry a lot more stuff on a daily basis. But everybody needs to make their EDC decisions on what they're going to carry based on their individual circumstances, how, where they may possibly find themselves if a disaster happens. So everybody's EDC may be a little different, and that's okay. There really aren't any right or wrong answers as long as you've tried to think it through and cover some of the basics. So I'll show you what I carry. You can put in the comments below anything you think I missed, and actually I'll appreciate that. And also I'm trying to pare down a little bit what I carry, so as you'll see I'm a little bit over the top, but I've been carrying this particular setup for about a year and a half, just about every day, so it is what it is. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is what you have in your pockets. And case in point, you may not have this bag anywhere near you, whether it's your EDC or your get-home bag or whatever. A couple weeks ago, our office was evacuated because of a bomb scare. And I've got a fully decked out get-home bag underneath the desk of my office, but I was nowhere near my office. Mike happened to be sitting on the john when the alarm went off. We got shucked out of the building. I was nowhere near my bag. All I had was what was in my pockets. Really got me thinking about what is in my pockets. So the first thing, let me show you, is this neat little multi-tool that I bought about a year and a half ago at Cabela's. I found this for $4.99. And recently I saw it again at Cabela's still, $4.99. Really, really nice quality multi-tool. And it's really tiny. It's a very small multi-tool. Now, it doesn't do you any good to have a real huge decked out Leatherman if you're not going to have it on you, does it? So I've got a fully huge decked out Leatherman in my get-home bag. But if I'm out just with what's in my pocket, I always have this. I've been carrying it for a year and a half. It sits right in my pocket. Doesn't bother me at all. Business suit, jeans, whatever. Another thing I carry in my pocket is I've got another little pouch here where I've got some 550 cord, a paper clip, and you can see there's a fire starter in there too. So these are things I carry. And then another thing to always make sure, no matter what what you have in your pockets, always have some cash. Make a point of having somewhere stashed, maybe hidden pocket in your wallet or something, some cash just in case you need it. If there's a power outage or an EMP or whatever, ATM machines may not work, credit cards may not work, but presumably cash will still be good for a period of time and might actually help you get home or help you out. One thing I'm not going to be talking about is weapons. That's a personal choice, whether you carry weapons or not in your EDC. And there really is no right or wrong answer to that. It's what's right for the person. I happen to work in a government building, so I can't carry a weapon in. So there you go. Now, my actual bag, and this is, as I said, I've got a get-home bag in my office. This is just a bag I take to and from work. And if at some point before I got to my office or when I was coming home something happened, I carry at least some basic survival necessities. So first of all, when we talk just about the bag itself is a Fieldline tactical bag. Bought it at Cabela's. It's a really good, rugged, day pack type of bag. It's got Somali on the front, which would really come in handy. It's also got compression straps, so you can really kind of tighten this up, and it's got a lot of pockets. It's padded, very comfortable bag to carry, and you really can fit a lot of stuff in here. I mean, this actually, you could even, my get-home bag at my office is this exact same bag. It's just stuffed full of a lot more goodies. But just in my EDC, one of the first things I'll point out to you is it's got this really nice pocket, right down around the kidneys, which is perfect for storing your maps. And I keep some maps, obviously I keep them in a Ziploc bag, which also, could double to be able to be a water container and keep things waterproof. Maps are very important. You want to make sure that you have maps because you may not be able to get home on the route that you're most used to. So I've got maps. If I have to find alternate routes home, I'm going to be able to do that. So always think about having maps, and I'd also I would also say that you should think about having some topographic maps with you also, just in case you need to go off-road. So I always carry some maps. Next thing I'll point out is kind of attached to the side here. I've got this Condor pouch. It's a Condor hydration pouch. Bought it it was very inexpensive. And I use this to carry my Catadine, my water purifier. I absolutely love this thing. It's nice and slim. It fits perfectly in this Condor pouch. It filters out 99.99 something percent of the bacteria, viruses. I've got the VirusStat filter for it. And all I need to do is find a water source, of which there are many. I live up in the Northeast, and there's plenty of reservoirs, streams, rivers. I'll find plenty of water sources between where I work and getting home. All I need to do is put in some fairly dubious water, and I'll have drinking water out of that. And I carry a couple of other water purification things. So this Condor pack is kind of my water purification part. I got a little flashlight. You always want to have a flashlight with you. I also carry a couple of coffee filters in a Ziploc bag. These are good for filtering out big sediment. If you had, some kind of muddy water, wouldn't want to stick that into that Catadine without at least first, trying to run it through a filter. I also carry potable aqua tabs, and this would just be another way that I could purify water if either the Catadine got plugged up or I needed it. Redundancy and backup. Remember, 2 is 1 and 1 is none, as preppers say. So, this is my backup water plan, is having these aqua tabs. And then I also in here carry my little compass, which goes right along with the maps. So this is a real handy little Condor pouch. Now, talk about a couple of the other things. One of them to think about too is if you wear glasses. Like I can't read those maps without my reading glasses. You need to make sure you've got a pair of glasses in your get-home bag. And I use glasses for both distance and close up. So make sure you have a pair of glasses in your get-home bag. I also have my little 1st Infantry Division coffee mug, and I drink my coffee on the bus on the way to work, but this is also a nice little water container. If I do find a water source, I can fill up my Catadine, fill this up as another water container. Now we'll basically start from the outside, and I'll show you kind of some of the stuff that I carry. One thing, okay, this is over the top. I don't want anybody to laugh at me. I'm sure you probably will. But I've got my SAS Survival Handbook, which I carry with me. Now, one thing, let me say this. There is also a smaller version of this, which is much better to fit into a bug-out bag, or a get-home bag, or EDC. This really isn't an EDC size book, but I absolutely love it, and I've been carrying it around for probably about a year and a half. And hey, it's good training if I get a heavy pack and I'm carrying it around all the time. Also, I have a couple of little tiny edible plant books for my area up here. So if if it was going to take me a little while to get home, I've got those. Again, probably a little over the top for an EDC, definitely not over the top if I was somewhere farther away than just coming home from work. So I carry those in this outside pocket. Just open up these compression straps a little bit. Now, I have some work-related stuff in here, like I carry an umbrella in case it rains, which is fine. Also could be nice for shelter. I've got a poncho that I carry in here, which would be good for making a shelter overnight, if I had to. And it's entirely possible, if some type of disaster happened, I figure I may spend a night outside before I can get home. 18 miles, I got a mountain to get over. Entirely possible I ain't going to do that in one day, so I may spend some time overnight. I got some 550 cord here and duct tape along with that poncho, so that's to kind of cover shelter. I have some baby wipes. Baby wipes. Carry these around. They're great for lots of things, but one of them being to clean yourself or your weapon if you happen to have a weapon. Got a pair of miniature Bushnell binoculars. that I carry in here. This could be important too if there's a dubious rule of law. You may not want to get too close before you see what's going on, so it's good to have a small pair of knocks so that you can scope out what you might be getting yourself into. So I do carry around the knocks. I also have a little magnifying glass. It's an illuminated magnifying glass. Has a light on it, so this would be good for looking at my map, especially at night. Also good for starting fires. So this is a good multi-purpose EDC item. Having a backup light, a backup way to start a fire, and also a magnifying glass. I got a couple of pens that I carry around with me. That's mostly just for work ID and that type of thing. Okay, so now let's go on to this compartment. Now, my lovely wife every day packs me a lunch. So I've got that in my bag. If anything happens, I do have a little food with me. But this particular lunch container, she picked it up at the grocery store just because it was cool. She knows I like camouflage and I like this. But it's actually lined on the inside, and I could use this as a container to get some water out of a stream to dump it into my Catadine. Lots of things I could use it for. So number one, I've got food. Number two, I've got kind of a waterproof container that I could use for a couple of different things. I have whatever book I happen to be reading at the time. Oh, look, it's prepping for a suburban or rural community. Wow. But I've actually got a little, this is a really cool thing. It's called a Mighty Case by Dynamite, and it's a Tyvek bookcase. Now, the other thing I like about this too is this is a good thing to carry maps or whatever in to protect them from the element. I mean, if you're walking home in the rain, everything's going to get wet. So I do have some Ziploc bags. I've also got this that would help protect things. And I do like having a book around it. I'm going to want a book even in the apocalypse. Always carry some water with me, but of course, that little bottle is not going to get me 18 miles for sure, which is why I've got my water purification set up. And a couple other things I carry in here. Now, I have been humping this thing all summer, which is probably kind of stupid. I should have seasonalized this thing. I got a pair of gloves and I got a black watch cap because if I happen to be caught out in the winter or in the cold or overnight, it's good to have a little bit of snivel gear. As I said, if you were smarter than me, you would season a lot. Every season change your pack around a little bit so you don't have to hump this in July. But I did, and it's good for me, good training. I always carry a couple of pairs of socks with me. And if you've been in the Army or in the Marines or other branches of the military, you'll know what I mean by this. It's good to have a couple extra pairs of socks if you're going to be doing a road march. These just happen to be Army wool socks, which I happen to love. So I carry a couple of extra pairs of socks with me. Another thing I carry is I've got a really nice emergency blanket tarp. It's actually OD green on one side, which is what I like about it. It is a little bit concealed, and then you've got kind of the space blanket part on this side. But this would be really good for making a little shelter or a little kind of snivel bag. So that goes along with the shelter. That and some 550 cord, I could make myself a nice little thing to keep out of the rain. And got an extra Ziploc bag, and I also have another set of maps, and this one happens to be the 2013 Harley Owner Group's Touring Handbook. Now, this is why I carry this. This is also my airline get-home bag. When I travel, if I go to Chicago, DC, San Diego, wherever, I still want to have a get-home bag. Some of the items in my get-home bag have to go in my checked luggage. For example, I've got a little axe that I carry, I've got some tent stakes, and some other things that TSA might have a problem with. They go in my checked luggage, but with me at all times is going to be this bag. Of course, I won't be carrying my little Cabela's multi-tool either. That goes in my checked baggage. But I carry this because it's got maps of every state, and at least I would have some maps. If I was going to have a real long road march, I'd at least have something to go with. So this is something that I also carry in my EDC, kind of in the map category. And yes, I know some of this is a little over the top, but really what you're willing to carry, and if I've been carrying this for a year and a half, if you're willing to carry it, what's the harm? If nothing else, it's good training to carry a, stupidly heavy pack around every day. And then also I have a couple of other sundry little items in here. For example, my cell phone charger, some Kleenex, a couple of other little personal hygiene items up in. There's a little sunglass case on the top that I keep in there. So basically that's just a quick tour of some of the EDC items that I carry just for a possibly anticipated 18-mile walk home. If I go farther distances, sometimes I travel several states away, I have a much more decked out get-home bag, with food, emergency water, a much better compass, topographic maps, a whole bunch of other items, a tent as a matter of fact, that I would use. But this is just kind of my to and from work every day. So I hope this has been helpful, and if anybody has any comments or anything you think I'm missing, I'd certainly appreciate a comment on that. Or, if there's anything that you think I should add, or I already said that, anything that was missing, or anything that you think I could get rid of. I do have probably a little more redundancy than I need here, but I've been willing to carry it, so I guess it's all good. Thank you very much for watching.